forecast first with the KX Storm Team.
And good morning. It is 5 a.m. Welcome to Good Day Dakota. We've got some scattered showers out there in the west, so some of us getting some rain. McKenzie County, Divide County seeing some rain. I'll tell you about the chances for some thunderstorms that we could see later today. Right now, a nice start to the day with mainly 40s, 49 in Minot, 40 degrees in Bismarck, but plan your day around 60s and 70s with some scattered storms. More on that is coming up. We'll talk about how long we keep these storms. That's straight ahead on Good Day Dakota.
It's gonna be a good day, so let's get it started.
Live from KX News, this is Good Day Dakota.
Good morning and welcome to Good Day Dakota. I'm Alicia Huck.
And I'm Josh Many. Thanks for waking up with us on this Wednesday morning. Leading local, the question of who will defend Chad Isaak in his quadruple murder case has finally been answered.
That's right. Becky Farr has more on the case, which just yesterday was delayed another 2 months.
Chad Isaak's trial was scheduled for 3 weeks starting on June 7th. Now it'll begin on August 2nd. It's been more than 2 years since Isaak was charged in the murder of 4 RJR maintenance and management employees in the early morning hours of April 1st, 2019. Judge David Reich had harsh words in court documents on continuance of the trial. He did grant a 60-day continuance, however, saying, quote, "The parties are all on notice. There will be no further continuances in this matter due to issues of counsel," end quote. The matter of who will defend Isaak has been up in the air. Last week, Judge David Reich allowed the withdrawal of Isaak's defense attorney, Robert Quick. A disciplinary complaint filed by Isaak against Quick was behind the conflict of interest decision. Secondary counsel in the case, Fargo's Vogel law firm, filed court documents Monday saying they have no contractual relationship with Isaak, and defending him would result in an unreasonable financial burden. The 3 lawyers from Vogel law firm have considered themselves secondary counsel in the case. They say they have not been involved in significant trial preparation, and if they were to defend Isaak, they would need extra time to prepare. Judge David Reich said the court is unpersuaded and unsympathetic to the lawyers' arguments. All 4 Vogel attorneys have appeared on behalf of Isaak at some point over the last 2 years. Judge Reich states the Vogel attorneys appear to have created that burden for themselves when discussing whether or not the lawyers will be paid, and that is an insufficient argument for withdrawal. Becky Farr, KX News. Back to you.
Now, the trial is now scheduled to run from August 2nd through the 20th, and it most likely will not be held in the Morton County courtroom. The trial will be in the House chamber at the North Dakota Capitol building. According to John Bjornson, who heads the Legislative Council, court officials asked to use the space and state officials said yes. Also in the chamber, starting Monday, the trial for 2 people charged with killing a Bismarck man last year. Earl Howard and Nikki Sue Ensel, the victim's wife, are charged with murder conspiracy, among other things, in the death of Chad Ensel. Now each face the possibility of life in prison if convicted.
A jury in Burleigh County will decide if a Moffett man charged in a fatal stabbing committed murder or was acting in self-defense. 48-year-old Arthur Funk is on trial after being charged in the June 2020 death of 53-year-old Kevin Stockard of Mandan. Prosecutors say the 2 men fought when Funk, who had been staying with Stockard's girlfriend, failed to return her car. Prosecutor Chase Lingle says Stockard was stabbed numerous times, suffered a broken rib, and was left to die, with Funk making no attempt to call for medical help. Defense attorney Scott Rose told jurors that Funk was still in the driver's seat of a car when he was punched by Stockard. The 2 struggled, and Stockard had no other option but to defend himself.
Well, officers say that traffic stops are the most dangerous police encounter for both officer and citizen alike. According to the FBI, 1 out of 8 officers killed in 2019 happened during a traffic stop. Officers say that the unknowns of a traffic stop can pose a danger to everyone involved. They also say they can find other infractions during a stop, such as drugs and warrants. Officer Hauk with the Mandan Police Department explains what to do when or if you are stopped by an officer.
They see our lights, they pull off safely to the right side of the road. We like the driver, just to keep your hands on that steering wheel.
And Officer Hauk says that the best course of action when disputing a traffic ticket is to follow the instructions on the envelope to take to court.
McKenzie County Emergency Management is preparing for something they hope no one has to ever encounter. Today from 10 to 3 at the Rough Rider Event Center, you are invited to participate in a free 1-hour active shooter drill. This is in partnership with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Participants will learn where to run, hide, or how to fight back if needed. The McKenzie County Emergency Manager tells us with the recent spike in active shootings across the country, this training is critical.
I want to be prepared, and I want people to be prepared. And every time active shooters happen, I always read somewhere in the fine print that nobody knew what to do, kind of thing. That it can happen anywhere, anytime, and you don't know.
For more information on how to register for the free event, you can visit our website, kxnet.com.
All right, and still ahead on Good Day Dakota this morning, an important meeting of the minds, sharing insight on what the future holds for the oil industry.
Yeah, we'll have the details about the conference. That's next.
Watching Good Day Dakota with Josh Meny, Alicia Huck, and weather with meteorologist Amber Wheeler. Good Day Dakota on KX News, putting North Dakota first.
In this season of renewal, Lowe's is recommitting to our Lowe's Price Promise for competitive prices every day. And if you can find an exact item for less, we'll match it, so the possibilities can bloom. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Hi, class.
Triscuit brings whole grain nourishment. You keep doing what you do best. Bring it with wholesome, delicious Triscuit.
Introducing the Lowe's List. Here are some of the innovative products chosen by our experts for 2021. We chose this exclusive Whirlpool 2-in-1 washer. Also, Samsung connected appliances. We love the HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Everlast. And a top pick, this exclusive new line of Flex Power Tools. To see what else made the Lowe's List, visit Lowe's.com. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
It's not about how you look, how old you are, or how much money you make. A gambling addiction can change anyone. But so can healing.
Renee is not an influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker. Just look at the way she's reshaping and reimagining her 4-acre slice of heaven. It's not hard to tell she's the real deal. Renee runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because out here, you can't fake a job well done. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Stop into your local RDO equipment store today and find your tractor package. Tractor packages start at just $170 per month.
Throughout the past 90 years, one thing has remained a constant. The Thomas Family Funeral Home has helped comfort families through the passing of a loved one. Through 3 generations, the Thomas family has cared for you and provided ways to preserve your loved one's memories. So with peace of mind planning, you can focus on one thing, celebrating a life remembered. Thomas Family Funeral Home, our family serving your family for 90 years.
You can open a college save account for any age child and transfer funds between children. It's never too late to save, and now with 3 match programs totaling $600 from Bank of North Dakota, your savings go further for your pride and joy.
The best way to wake up in the morning is with Good Day Dakota.
Well, good morning. It is 5:08. Welcome back to Good Day Dakota. Some of us are seeing some much needed rain out there. It's not a ton, but we are seeing some rainfall from the clouds today. Take a look at the bus stop forecast. We've got a warm start this morning. Many of us are in the 40s this morning, and we're increasing clouds. Now, if you're in central and eastern North Dakota, you're going to have a sunnier day than folks in the far west. But later today, a chance for some scattered thunderstorms with temperatures when you head home on the bus, mainly in the 60s. Highs highs eventually for most in the east, especially reaching into the 70s. So here's where that rain is. A few showers in the west. And with the daytime heating, we certainly could see a few thunderstorms. And I'll have more on that forecast here coming up for you. But here's our KX Cam in Garrison. We're 42 degrees with very calm wind. Coming up, I'll tell you more about the chances for thunderstorms because we don't only have them today, we've got them in the forecast as we head through the next few days. We'll talk about the big warm up that we'll also see with them as well.
All right, thanks, Amber. We continue our COVID-19 North Dakota watch. The health department reporting 128 new cases of the coronavirus, moving the number of active cases here in the state to 778. 3 new deaths were reported. 140 additional people have now recovered. 36 are currently in the hospital with the virus, and more than 256,000 North Dakotans are fully vaccinated now. For the latest information on the coronavirus, including all of the latest case numbers, resources, and prevention, visit kxnet.com.
The Williston Basin Petroleum Conference is bringing the North Dakota oil industry together this week. After being postponed due to the coronavirus last year, nearly 2,500 people registered for the 3-day conference, which kicked off yesterday. Now it will cover topics such as technology, geology, engineering, and infrastructure. And with outdoor and indoor exhibits, officials say that people have direct access to the latest in the industry.
If you walk around in the booths, you'll pick up on the optimism. This conference is a chance for these people to reconnect on a regular basis and also to kind of share what's happening between the operators and their budgets for later this year and next year, and what about the suppliers.
And another hot topic at that conference is politics and policy. Speakers like CEOs, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and current North Dakota Senator John Hoeven will all be on hand to cover that today and tomorrow.
Students graduating from Bismarck State College yesterday, but they didn't do it without putting their skills to the test first. Parents, families, and supporters looked on as 50 students from the line worker program had to complete 5 tough tasks in order to graduate, including the Hertman Rescue and the Confidence Climb. Brad Anderson, the lead instructor, says everything students have learned over the last 9 months will come in handy on the daily.
And actually going out and working for the co-ops and supplying the power for North Dakota, it's important that this program runs every year and keeps pumping out students in order to keep the lights on for all those customers.
The rapid growth of the program has even led to the decision to build a new 26,000 square foot indoor training center.
Yeah, I can't imagine being a lineman.
No.
I'm afraid of heights, so it would not be the job for me.
Well, they're going to use it on the daily.
That's right,
so
exactly.
Put it to the test. Still to come this morning on Good Day Dakota, several new projects are in the works, helping celebrate all the talent we have here in North Dakota. The details on that coming up at 5:23.
And Amber will be back to tell us what the weather is shaping up to be, see what it's going to be like for those linemen high up in the sky. That's coming up next.
Pandemic fatigue. We're all suffering from it and ready to move on, ready to gather, celebrate, and share moments with others. Now, thanks to safe and effective vaccines, you can get back to doing the things you love, with the people you love, your family and friends. Get your vaccine and get back to living. Let's get back together.
Your West Dakota Chevy dealers congratulate the 2021 West Dakota Chevy Scholarship winners. Congratulations to our 5 runner-up winners: Zachary Mahin, Cassidy Hatzenbuller, Megan Sutter, Jaden Geidinger, and Cameron Morrison. And congratulations to Micah Schlittenhart, our 2021 West Dakota Chevy Scholarship $5,000 grand prize winner.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free, no one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Who is the most interesting person that you know? Maybe it's a teacher or a gardener, an inventor. Maybe it's an artist or a first responder or a volunteer. Whoever it is, I'd like to introduce them to the rest of North Dakota. I would love to hear and share their story. So send me your ideas to bfar@kxnet.com. And be sure to watch Someone You Should Know Thursday nights on KX News at 9 only on the CW.
Sponsored by Dakota Bank.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50.
What are you in for? Cholesterol check.
Cool. Make sure your health lives as long as you do. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
Every year, 300 to 400 physicians in the U.S. die from suicide, nearly one every day.
Addiction does not discriminate. Medical providers are affected by mental illness and substance use disorders at the same rate as the general population. Approximately 20% will be affected throughout their lifetime. If you are a medical provider and you are concerned about your use of drugs or alcohol, or you are concerned about your mental health, please do not wait until this is affecting your professional life. Contact the NDPHP. We're here to help.
Your local weather with the KX News Storm Team.
And good morning, it is 5:15. Welcome back to Good Day Dakota. As you can see, we got pictures of dust devils yesterday. This happens when you have incredibly, of course, dry conditions, like a lot of us do. This was west of Steele by about 10 miles. And then you have a lot of surface heating. So we had a lot of full sun. It really warmed up the surface. And the winds, the actual winds have to be really light. So the warmth of the surface really creates this sort of spin in the atmosphere. It picks up that dust, and that's where you get that dust devil. And thank you, Ryan, for sending in this photo. Here's our satellite and radar. As you can see, some shower activity off towards the west. But notice we have this area of high pressure to our northeast. So this is just funneling in basically a little resistance here, if you will. It's not going to allow a lot of this to move into central North Dakota, but we are seeing a few showers for folks around McKenzie County, moving into the Newtown area, around Crosby this morning, and into Watford City. We head to the south. I mean, the areas of rain are meager here, but we do have some more scattered showers moving in through the day today. Here's your KX cam in Bismarck. You can see the clear sky in central North Dakota. 40 degrees there with a southeast breeze at 3 miles per hour. Also in Minot, we're at 49. Really warm this morning in the Magic City. A southwest wind at about 13 miles per hour. So not too bad for those winds and not too bad for the morning start here. A lot of 40s for these morning temperatures, a few upper 30s, but we're all above freezing nonetheless at about 41 in Dickinson and 47 in Williston. Your winds are out of the south this morning, mostly around 5 miles per hour, and they're going to stay southerly today. It's going to help to pull in some of that warmth, and they'll pick up to around 10 to 15 through the afternoon. Your highs today, well, they're going to be a little cooler in the west with a little more cloud cover associated with those showers. In central North Dakota, this is where we'll see our upper 60s to low 70s. So this is also in the west where we have a chance for some thunderstorms. Minot and Bismarck, you have the ingredients here for some thunderstorms, but you're right on the edge of the chances. And you'll see what I mean here. Remember, we have that high to the northeast of us almost acting as sort of a resistance here, keeping a lot of this rain at bay. Heading into the afternoon, we could see just some scattered showers, a few thunderstorms. They will be non-severe. Our chance for showers and thunderstorms then shift to the east as we head into Thursday afternoon. And so here's your forecast in terms of who could see some thunderstorms on Thursday, mostly in central and eastern North Dakota this time, with highs tomorrow in the upper 60s to the low 70s. Here's a quick look at your Dickinson 3-day forecast, and we're getting a look at how the week will end. Upper 70s on Friday, another small round of some shower and thunderstorm activity. Here's Williston, back to the low 70s there for Thursday and into Friday, and we carry the 70s into the weekend. Here's your Minot forecast and a chance for some showers near daily into next week, mid to upper 70s. So a pretty warm forecast heading into the next work week and above average. Here's your Bismarck forecast. As you see, their average, seasonal average is 67 for today. We'll certainly be exceeding that in this forecast. Chances for some showers and thunderstorms, again, near daily through the weekend.
I'm definitely looking forward to some possibility of rain, but hearing some thunder and seeing some lightning, it's been a while.
When they're non-severe, they're kind of peaceful to hear when you're inside.
Exactly.
When they're non-severe.
From a safe
we don't
distance.
get them too often, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, I like them. All right, thank you, Amber. And when we return this morning on Good Day Dakota, this has been standing for more than a century.
Yeah, meet those hoping it stays around for generations longer. We'll have that next.
See how our ag lending and crop insurance services can work for you. Farm Credit Services of North Dakota.
At Home of Economy, you'll find top-selling brands like Carhartt, known for comfort, durability, and a style and fit for everyone. Whether you need workwear, casual wear, or anywhere in between, find your Carhartts at the guaranteed lowest price, only at Home of Economy.
It's Carl's grand reopening here in Spearfish.
And you are invited.
Come join us on Thursday, May 13th at 11 a.m. for a special ribbon cutting with the Chamber.
You can enter to win prizes, save up to 45% on appliances, TVs are on sale, as well as Serta mattresses.
These prices are good at all locations.
Also join us on Saturday, May 15th for our Grilling Expo. Stop in and see us anytime.
Carl's, your servicing dealer since 1956.
Find your next employment opportunity now with KXNet Jobs. Sundry Sand and Gravel is hiring qualified and self-motivated individuals to join our team. Extensive training and certification provided. Check out this job and more at kxnetjobs.com. The Dakota Access Pipeline protest was 5 years ago, but for the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, its legacy lives on. Garnering national media attention, the protest united thousands of water protectors, including representatives from 300 tribal nations. The encampment also created a new energy, interweaving cultures and traditions, bringing Standing Rock a renewed appreciation for their heritage. Today, they're taking that energy and using it towards a bright and positive future. Join Josh Meny as he explores No Dapple Legacy, Monday at 10 on KX News.
Your heart is at the heart of everything you do. And if you have heart failure, there's a medicine specifically made for heart failure, Entresto. It's a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. Entresto is proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure, and trust your heart to Entresto.
Good Day Dakota continues on KX News.
Well, it's 5:22. Welcome back. A bill that received quite a bit of pushback from North Dakota lawmakers ended up passing. Senate Bill 2245 originally asked for $10 million in funding for Minot's Intermodal railway facility. The facility allows farmers to load their products in Minot to be shipped internationally at a reduced shipping cost. $2 million would go towards expanding the train track, and $8 million would go towards purchasing the above-ground assets from banks. Now, some representatives viewed it as a bank bailout, but did agree to approve $2 million.
The infrastructure was really what was most important. That's what got us over the top and got a lot of no votes converted to yes.
And construction will begin sometime on that this month.
North Dakota has many hidden and well-known gems held near and dear. For one small town, they're working to preserve history as best they can. Malik Wilson shows us how.
On the northern border of the Peace Garden State lies a special city right off of Highway 256.
The city of Antler was platted in 1905 during the railroad boom.
Mark Jorgensen, who is a longtime native and historian of Antler, says the city blossomed for many years, building its foundation around the town square.
The history of the town in 1905 is when this building was built, many others along the town square, and from there was a boom period for the town.
But as the saying goes, all good things eventually come to an end.
There's been so many buildings torn down over the years here.
Building vacancies became more frequent after the World War and the removal of the Northern Railway. Now all that remains is the town square.
This town square building is the last original one in the state of North Dakota.
Jorgensen and others in the city want to preserve it. The hope is to turn it into a museum.
We've already had several people donate items for when the museum is ready. We also have what was at one time the world's largest quilt here in Antler, which was a centennial project.
To help raise money, the city created the Antler Historical Society, a nonprofit made up of 6 board members and volunteers from in and around the area.
Antler is just a special place, and I think that small town North Dakota shouldn't be forgotten. These towns were kept alive by the railroads, and when the railroad moved out, a lot of these towns died out.
Azzarello says so far they have about $14,000 put towards the project that could cost more than $200,000. To most, it's a hefty price tag, but for those behind it all, it's a priceless project.
And if these walls could talk, I'm sure there would be a lot of stories they could tell. It's just something that is iconic for the city of Antler, and it would just be nice to have them available in a usable condition where people can go in and take a look and kind of relive history while they're here.
Reporting for KX News in Antler, Malik Wilson.
Jorgensen says they plan to begin work on the building this fall and hope to complete it in the next year or two.
Well, efforts are now underway to make the capital city a bit more colorful. The Dakota West Arts Council unveiled their upcoming projects to city commissioners on Tuesday. And the group, they plan to restore damaged murals in Art Alley. They also have several new projects in the works. So keep your eyes open for poetry boxes, vending machines filled with art made by local artists, and soon a mural in the tunnel under State Street. And the executive director of the Dakota West Arts Council tells us that they also plan to start a community mural project.
The arts tell stories of where we live. So arts are, part of our culture. They can be storytellers 100%. When you create these art pieces, collective art pieces together, it's just this immense sense of community, collaboration, and a sense of pride and empowerment.
And the Good Space Community Mural Project is aimed for the summer of 2022, and the new Heritage Art Tunnel will be coming much sooner, as early as August of this year. So it's always fun having those because you have these cool places to take pictures.
Right.
You always see
well,
that.
Molly McLean, her mural is a mosaic, and it has mirrors in it, and it's flowers.
So amazing. Yeah. So
I love it down there. So I'm all for this,
So
adding
am I.
new murals to the city.
So am I. And so getting out there and enjoying some of those murals, Amber, it looks like we have some pretty nice weather, maybe some storms coming in, but well, we can hope for storms, or not severe.
Yeah, and some of us have a chance for thunderstorms, and even the chance, your chances of getting one over your house are incredibly low for today.
Yeah.
But take a look at the dog walking forecast. I know some folks who don't care to see the storms, and that would be our four-legged best friends. This is Tika, and Tika is from Brenda, so good morning to you guys. We are increasing the clouds today. A few high clouds will roll through with some of those thunderstorms as well. A lot of temperatures in the 60s this afternoon, and some by late afternoon will reach the low 70s. Here are your temperatures right now. We're at 39 in Stanley. That's one of our cooler areas. 41 and Dickinson. Lake Chida in at 42 with Linton at 37. Here's your Dickinson camera. As you can see, they're low 40s with south winds at about 7 miles per hour. Good morning, Dickinson. And coming up, my forecast first is next. We'll talk about where there are showers on the radar. That's coming up.
The Biden administration wants to go all in on nuclear energy, and gasoline shortages across the east are creeping north. Jane King is in New York with those stories and more in today's Ag and Energy Report.
Gasoline shortages across the U.S. South are expanding north as antsy motorists race to fill up. Some fuel terminals at the pipeline's terminus in New Jersey are rationing supplies. So far, Virginia has been hit the hardest as a result of the Colonial Pipeline hack, with 7.6 of the state's filling stations out of fuel yesterday. North Carolina and Georgia are also experiencing supply issues. Well, the National Rifle Association's bankruptcy filing was rejected by a Texas judge, leaving it vulnerable to the New York Attorney General, who is seeking to dissolve the gun group. The judge halted a proposal to reincorporate the New York-based association in Texas. The decision means that New York Attorney General Letitia James should have an easier time seizing the NRA's assets if she wins her court case. And U.S. soybean futures top $16 for the first time in almost 9 years. Corn and wheat futures also posted sharp gains after a steep pullback a year ago. And the Biden administration is floating federal support for the nuclear power industry. This is a bid to boost carbon-free energy to meet its emission goals. The nuclear industry also faces rising costs, aging infrastructure, competition from other energy sources, and political opposition. From New York, I'm Jane King with your Ag and Energy Report.